The Lion King 1.5, released February 10th, is a 2004 direct-to-video animated musical comedy adventure film released by the Walt Disney Home Entertainment. The film is a prequel to the 1994 film The Lion King and focuses on Timon and Pumbaa before, during, and after the events of the original film.
Simba's protector, Pumbaa's friend. But how much do you really know about this heroic adventurer and fun seeker? Join us now as we take you behind the legend.
It's also based off the 1995 spin-off television and animated series Timon and Pumbaa. Welcome to my 16th Disney direct-to-DVD VHS sequel movie review sequel. The entire original cast from the first movie returned to do this. At least the ones that mattered. The film is set up as a frame story. More on that later. Regardless, more than 3 million copies of the VHS and DVD units were sold in the first 3 days when it came out, generating about like 55 million in those first 3 days. This is the first direct-to-video film released under the Disney Toon Studio label after the Disney Toon / Disney Video Premiere split from the Disney Television Animation, which was ultimately owned by the Walt Disney Feature Animation, but in January 2003, and then they renamed it to the Disney Toon Studio in June of that same year in 2003. I hope that made sense.
For the past 4 years, I've been given a wonderful opportunity to work here in Hollywood and Australia.
We have Australians and New Zealanders.
Quite a few Canadians.
A few of us from LA, not a lot of us from LA. There's only maybe 3 or 4 of us that are from LA as an American, so can't understand them all the time, but you know.
It's a lot of rude jokes. The boys found them very entertaining during the screening.
The film was animated by the Walt Disney Animation. Fucking hate this stupid word Disney Animation is in the same sentence every fucking time. It was in Australia, in the Sydney, New South Wales, and Disney Toon Studio in the United States. Other than that, I think that's it. Let's jump in. All right, open shot, Disney Castle. We get some nature sounds in the back. Pictures presents. Nah, where have I seen this before? Except, wait, Timon? Well, it looks like we got Timon and Pumbaa watching the original Lion King. They're doing like a fourth wall break or something. It's a little wild. So they're arguing over the story of the movie and how it went.
Then why don't we tell them our story?
So we're getting a movie where they tell the same story, but from a different perspective. I don't know what genre of movies it's called. I guess like a frame story, if that's like the name. I don't know. But The Lion King 1.5. Someone had fun with the effects on this movie.
Pumbaa? How can a rock be proud?
I don't really know what happens next. Timon just kind of rewinds a far way back. Something about seated while camera is in motion.
Here we are.
So, of course, we're starting with the backstory of Timon. And, of course, a song starts, which is too catchy. Dig a tunnel, dig a tunnel. We get Timon's mom. Timon fucks something up.
And it really sets up Timon's world. This is what meerkats do. His
mom has a talk with him. He doesn't want to dig anymore, so he wants a new life. His mom shows him the savannah.
Everything the light touches belongs to someone else.
Funny, I thought you were going a whole different direction with this.
So they're just food for other animals. Apparently meerkats are grass intolerant. So Timon has a reputation for just fucking things up in his little family village. He eventually lets the whole tribe let him go to explore this new life. Just watch out for the hyenas.
He had a face like a hyena's. But looking back on Timon's early years.
So they send him off with the Uncle Max, right? And he asks them, hey, what do you do if you see a hyena?
Scream, Mommy!
That's right! He starts to scurry, a sniff and a flinch all over the rock. Then eventually that turns into a song, of course. This song's okay. He gets on like a little nimbus cloud of paradise, so that's neat.
Always been good at running away. Well, now I'm gonna run the show.
He runs into the hyenas, fucking free dinner and a show. They slap him into the tribe. Everyone's scrambling.
That's just how I like them. Scramble.
Timon gets pulled underground. I shit you not. I thought I had a bugged copy because then this happened.
Wait is the look for this fall. Of course,
Hey, what's going on?
in every
Pumbaa,
magazine.
yes.
I dead ass like rose in my chair. I said, wait, what happened? Who recorded over this? Then I see the two fools.
Every
Pumbaa,
magazine.
you're sitting on the
What have I
remote.
got it?
Uncle Max makes it underground. He lost his ass though. Everyone hates Timon now, like a lot, even Uncle. So Mom goes to check on him. He says his life is out there. She eventually lets him go. Very, very emotional stuff. She gives him a long hug.
And people wonder why I have issues.
He's free. I also paused it on this part because I thought it was a really good backdrop vista. So let's appreciate it. Look at that. Look at that green over there. He starts crying for his mom later. He just runs into Rafiki in a tree. That boy just always shows up randomly, huh? He tells him that he needs some like Hakuna Matata or something. He makes him look into the distance and he sees the rock.
It's kind of hard to think with all this music.
He's going to the big pointy rock. Later during that walk, he hears some roars. I wonder who that could be. He's running through the grass. That beast is right on his tail. And then boom. Oh my God, scream.
You know, first impressions are very important.
So they get along pretty good. Pumbaa tells him that no one likes him and that most people run away from him. And Timon likes the sound of that. So he starts inspecting him and he's hired as his new bodyguard.
I'm your pig.
So they're now like acquaintances. They introduce each other and then they are off to that big pointy rock. The scene fades and wow, we get the opening again. I guess we're back to the present now. So if you were curious, apparently Timon and Pumbaa only knew each other for like 30 minutes before the original movie starts. So fun fact there.
Protect me, a great big fat guy.
You really think I look fat?
It's the circle of life. So they run into the animal standing below as Rafiki is holding up baby Simba, but Timon has to get his dream home in the distance. So they kind of just shuffle through the animals. They're all kind of mean mugging him back. Also, if you were curious, Pumbaa had to let out gas. And since it smelled so bad, it made all the animals kind of collapse. And that's the reason everyone starts bowing in the original Circle of Life movie song. So I'm glad I ruined that for you guys.
Very proud to be the very first Disney character who actually had gas.
He would be improvising, and he would just be talking, and then there would be quiet, and he would go, and then you would hear like a loud, very long, squeaky one.
Look, sire, how they kneel before the royal sun.
Also, as they're kind of like just walking away, I didn't realize how long Rafiki was holding Simba. Like he's just kind of frozen there as he's holding him. He makes it to his dream home. He says it's all his. Pumbaa goes, oh shit, well, I guess I'll be going now. And then Timon is like, well, there aren't any laws saying you have to go. And so they're roomies now. So Timon gets the big bed and the Pumbaa gets the small bed. Next morning, they wake up to the other animals singing Just Can't Wait to Be King, and Timon says, great, we move next to the theater district. If you were curious, Timon hits one of the elephants at the bottom to tell them to keep it down, and that is what caused them all to fall down at the end of the song in the original film. Let's keep going. Next scene, they stumble into the hyena encampment or something. Maybe this could be a good home. Also, they ended up being in that scene also watching carnivores. The next scene, they stumble across a stampede running down and immediately start running away. They are now in a waterfall. Timon asks if it's possible to fall off the edge of the earth, and Pumbaa hits them with a...
Technically, no. The earth is round like a sphere, Timon, so it doesn't actually have an edge.
So L to all the flat earthers out there, because Pumbaa told me so. They fall again.
You mind if I pause it for a second?
Actually, no. Mind if I pause here for a second? The film reveals the story of how they first met each other, right? And became friends. However, in the Timon and Pumbaa TV show labeled Timon and Pumbaa, there's an episode called Once Upon a Timon. They have a different way of meeting in there.
That was close. Yeah, the circle of life passed before my eyes. But I'd say we made a pretty good team, huh? Yeah, we sure did. Couldn't have done it without you. Yep.
Which technically makes 1.5 serve as a reimagined version of that said episode. And on another note, earlier in the film, when Timon met Rafiki for the first time, in the original film, Timon does not recognize Rafiki in that movie. Yet this movie shows how he previously met and learned Hakuna Matata from Rafiki, and he's recognized him throughout his whole journey. So back to the intermission in the movie, Pumbaa goes for a potty break. Timon picks his nose and he wipes it on the chair.
Were you just picking your nose?
No, I had an itch.
They make it out alive from the fall. Timon can't go on anymore. Pumbaa says he doesn't have a home, and they kind of just bond over that. And this is kind of the turning point of the movie where they go from acquaintances to best friends. It's very emotional here. Until Timon decides to pause the movie again and blow his nose because he's crying. The next morning, I paused it on this scene because this movie has a lot of beautiful vistas. Too bad it was wasted. So they're chilling in paradise for a bit. Timon is trying to remember the phrase Rafiki told him earlier, and they're just kind of dancing around the word until this happens.
How can you dance at a time like this? I'm dying here.
Hakuna Matata. Come again.
They interrupt the movie again just to throw up some karaoke lyrics, and we all know this song. So they interrupt it again because he ate all the grub. A quick scene back with the mom and Rafiki. She freaks out because Rafiki taught her son Hakuna Matata.
You used a metaphor on Timon? He takes things literally.
So I guess now she's gonna go out to go look for him. Hopefully this doesn't contradict anything in the future. So back with the boys, Timon says he doesn't really know what led him to Simba that day. So I guess they just wanted to be good guys and save his life from the original movie. But you know, they save him laying dead. So we get a montage here of them kind of taking care of Simba, showing him where to pee, how to climb trees, while the song Jungle Boogie is playing in the background. Very fitting. He tosses him around. This goes on all night. They let him sleep with them because he has had a bad dream. Adorable. That's adorable. Again, very beautiful vistas. So the next scene, we get like a teenage Simba. I really hate his hair in this. They argue that Simba wins in every contest they do, except they haven't tried the snail slurping yet. This scene is very strange. They eat till they basically pass out. Simba takes the last one of his and he slurps it down. Timon throws his in the air and dies. I don't know what to say about this. I think I enjoyed it. Then the two burst into another song, which turns into this fucking ballad. Yeah, this like little chorus kind of thing came out of nowhere, but it shows Simba progressing in age. Now he's full grown to, I guess, the equivalent of the first movie. So they are relaxing in the hot tub, and Pumbaa is bushed for the night, and he heads out first.
Oh, bushed. Think I'll turn in for the night.
You know, when I think about it, it does make sense.
I'm out. Right behind you.
Timon cuddles up with his paw. So the next morning they run into Nala, and the boys are like, she's gonna steal Simba from us. So Timon and Pumbaa are gonna make sure they don't feel the love tonight. So the Peter Gunn by the Blues Brothers starts playing. Don't ask. They are on a mission to stop this love, which it does a back and forth of Peter Gunn playing and Can You Feel the Love with each of the characters, you know?
That's so romantic.
Which I got a little chuckle out of. Ultimately, they could not stop the love tonight. Another beautiful vista later, we run into them fighting and breaking up.
Do you know what this means?
He can't express his feelings and she has commitment issues?
Now they are regretting it because he left. So, like, Nala explains the story plot of the first one to them, and they're like,
The sheer indescribable horror!
Blah, blah, blah. Why is she toying?
So they kind of fight about who's gonna go rescue the boy. Timon refuses because he likes his little paradise, and Pumbaa is like, well, he's my best friend, so he leaves him. Timon is happy.
It's more like it. Elbow room.
Then Timon ponders the rest of the day, and Rafiki, of course, out of nowhere visits him in the middle of the night, ultimately convinces him to come to his senses by saying a sentence or two, and hits him on the head, and now he's off to rescue Simba.
My work here is done.
Next scene, Pumbaa is running and Timon just runs past him and they do a quick little hug, just like that. They pause the movie again.
What was with the running? If you can call that running.
I was thinking the same thing. So they literally cut to the chase, and now we're at the hyena fight at the end of the movie. Also, did you know that Timon's mom and uncle came to find him during this scene? And also bet you weren't expecting that. Also, they witnessed the fight with Scar and Simba just casually kind of in the background. He also says he's gonna find a way to help him, and he tells his fam to dig lots and lots of tunnels. So oof, what do we have in store for this epic finale twist? He runs away and his mom goes,
Something's different about Timon.
You think? He's wearing a dress!
They do some dances to distract the hyenas. They do a lot of stalling, actually, like a couple of minutes of stalling, all the while the fam is kind of digging in the tunnels below them. I'm gonna speed up the rest of this scene because there's a lot that happens at one time. So they stall long enough. Mom pops out, asks, now? Uncle kicks it. They back up. It doesn't work. They walk back. Timon grows some balls, jumps in the pit. They try to bite him. He slams into the wood. They jump them. The ground falls in a tunnel. Simba kicks Scar off the rock. Bet you weren't expecting that.
I'd say Scar is down and out.
Timon walks out without a scratch. She calls him Timmy, which is a missed opportunity for me to have said that the whole video. We're almost done, guys. Next scene, we're at the ending. It's raining. They hug Simba. He roars to finish the scene out. They watch him. By the way, Timon's family, they were there the whole time. He tells his mom it's time to go home to paradise. Dig a tunnel. Starts to play. Again, Timon is king or something of his little paradise land. We get a zoom out of the meerkats going a little crazy. So we got the boys now breaking the wall for the 50th time. Timon's mom and family walk in and they ask to watch the movie again, even though they just literally finished the movie 10 seconds ago, and they start rewinding it. And bro, I shit you not, every goddamn Disney character comes into the frame to watch this movie. 90% of them are like voice animated too. And my mind was a little blown watching the scene because I don't remember this at all. Here's all the characters. Then they press play from the beginning and Pumbaa goes,
I still don't do so well in crowds.
And that's The Lion King 1.5. The same director as Hunchback 2 and Pocahontas 2. This movie is just satire.
When you make a Disney film, you have to live up to the tradition of excellence. Even with that kind of pressure, we weren't worried. Or should I just say, Hakuna Matata?
So many groovy things to see while
That was pretty good.
Yeah, we sure worked on that a long time. I wonder how we actually did it all.
I mean, I like this movie. It's not the best, but you know what? It's decent. If we're listening, I'm 16 movies deep in this shit. This is one of the gooder ones. That's not a word. The critics and audiences generally liked it. I'd say average people gave it, well, like a 6.5, so not too bad. That's probably what I'd give it. But boy, oh boy, now it's time for all the retcons. At least the ones that I found interesting. So aside from like that mentioned TV show Once Upon a Time where they first met each other. So like in the beginning where I mentioned all the animals kind of bowed because Pumbaa passed gas. However, like in the original film, none of the animals passed out, like in the back. The film also shows Timon watching Simba and Nala fight, in which Simba kind of storms off at the end, making Timon rejoice over their separation of them not feeling the love. However, in the first film, when Nala asks Timon and Pumbaa if they've seen Simba, which happens after the fight with them, Timon replies that he thought Simba was with her.
Next step is to have lots of meetings. It'd be a film if you weren't having meetings about meetings and than talking about the meetings after the meeting.
It was like a pre-meeting, then we have a pre-meeting. Then when the meeting finally happens, you're exhausted.
The international version of the movies, the sing-along part with Hakuna Matata, they are kind of like omitted from the songs, but there's still a ladybug bouncing on the screen for like the karaoke part of it. However, later in the dubs with like visual localization, whatever that's called, they added it back in with the ladybug bouncing on each word. This movie also marked, again, like the first appearance of a Disney Toons logo, studios print logo at the end of the credits.
It seems to me we have gone all the way through to the end of the show, and there is no sign of real greatness in Timon's life whatsoever.
I don't want to talk anymore. So other than that, that's it. Thank you for joining me. Join me next time where I cover the next Disney direct to VHS DVD sequel movie review VHS. Why does my hand pop every time I do that? I'm getting old. Mulan 2. I don't know anything about this movie.
That's how we did it.
Oh yeah, we did a lot of work.
And all that work makes you hungry.
Sure does. Where do you want to go?
Don't know. Where do you want to go?
Oh, I don't know. Where do you want to go?
Not sure. How about you?
I'm not really sure. What about you?
Well, enough of that.
I don't know where I'm